Hello everyone, welcome to Magical Me. I'm Jamie Mendez, spiritual intuitive and oracle, and I'm here with my weekly Moon Day Oracle guidance message. So this is going to be a reading of guidance for the highest and greatest good of the collective and all of those who find themselves here. I do set the intention that the readings that come through, the information that comes through, is for everyone. And especially, like I said, for those who find themselves here, you do find yourself here in exact divine timing. So it doesn't matter if you're watching this on the replay or if you're watching this live. And even if you are watching the replay months or years from now, whenever you find yourself here, there's something within this message that is going to resonate with you at the exact moment in time when you are hearing it. With that said, this reading is for the week of October 20th, 2020. And I see some of you popping in, and I can see comments, so that is wonderful. Hello, Bridget and Beth, Kimberly, Laura, Gigi, welcome. Robin, good evening, everyone, and happy Moon Day. So I'm going to just take a really quick moment, since I know it's working properly now. I'm going to share that I'm live. So just bear with me, but how are you all doing and feeling? I know today is actually Tuesday, so you are not, you're not watching this, you're not confused or anything like that. I know that some of you may not have seen that I posted yesterday. I was unable to get to Moon Day, so I'm doing it today on Tears Day instead. Hi, Carmela. Welcome, love. Kimberly says, very focused, but a bit stressed. Oh, well, focused is good. Stressed, not so much, but, so then focus your attention within them, instead of having, which is a very difficult thing to do, but take that focus and just anchor it, But we're going to talk all about that with the energy forecast. Just sharing it one more time. All right. Happy Moon Day on Tuesday. Yeah, that's cute. That says realigning and holding up boundaries. Ooh, girl, you hit the nail on the head. We are going to be discussing those boundaries. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, Kimberly, absolutely. Hey, beautiful Angela, welcome, love. Thanks for being here. All right, so really quickly, for those of you who are new to my page and these readings, welcome. I just want to do a quick overview of how this works. So I am an intuitive and an oracle, and I use my abilities to connect with the with higher wisdom and information that comes through for what we most need, as I do set the intention that we receive a positive message of guidance and what we most need to know at this time as a collective. I use both my own intuitive abilities as well as oracle cards to call that message forward. And I do set the intention that this is a generalized overview of the information or the what we most need to know for the energy of the week. It's not individual personalized readings. So I do offer private or personalized readings, but they are offered privately. So you can message me if you're interested in something specific pertaining to your own personal life. And you can check my services on my page as well as my fees. And I'm able to do those readings just like this privately. Or I also offer recorded readings for those of you who like to watch them on your own time and watch them back on replay. So with that said, this is more of an overview for all of us and what we all need to know, and it's going to resonate with each of us uniquely pertaining to our own situations. So again, the reason that I do this is to really give us that heads up, the awareness of what we can do to best flow with the energy versus swimming against the current, if you will. That awareness is power, because it does give you that heads up, if you will, to know how to maneuver through it when situations arise. It does help you to help yourself as well as help others with the information and knowing how to best kind of get through anything that may be coming up at the time. So again, awareness is that key to being able to go with the flow versus, resisting. So with that said, before I actually pull the Moon Day message, I do like to talk really briefly about news and announcements and anything that I have going on, events or class-wise here at Magical Me, as well as over at my sister business, Oracles of the Light. So we'll talk about that. Then I do what's called an empathy forecast, and that's really just me energetically picking up what it is that I'm noticing going on within my own life, within myself, with the energy around me, within the environment, as well as anything significant we might need to know about having an impact on us regarding, what's going on in the cosmos. So I talk about that. Then I pull the Moon Day message, and then after that I do ask for a mudra and pull a mudra to assist us with the message that came through for Moon Day. So I'll talk more about what I can't even talk today. It's ridiculous. This Mercury retrograde is absolutely out of control. I don't know about the rest of you, but it's out of control. Mercury rules over communication, as well as technology, which we will also be talking about today. So yes, the Moon Day message and the mudra will go hand in hand, and I will be talking more about what a mudra is for those of you who are unfamiliar with them when we get there. Okay, so first things first, can everybody still see and hear me okay? Because I haven't seen any more comments, and I really just want to make sure that this is still working, because, we've had some issues. So just, shoot a comment in the messages here. Yes, I just saw Beth's comment. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Meredith. And welcome, Meredith. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. So before I get into all of that, let's get into what I have going on here at Magical Me, as well as Oracles of the Light. So really briefly, the only thing that I have to announce at this time is the Halloween reading roulette that the Oracles and I do live. We are actually going to be bringing that back, and there has been an event created on both, I think on Magical Me, but I might be mistaken. I might not have gotten that far. It might actually just be on Oracles of the Light's page right now. So if you want to check out the event for more information, for anything that I might have missed or not communicated properly, because, the communication is just next level. So if you want to check that out, you can do so. But it's supposed to be live this Thursday evening, October 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So how that works is, for anyone who would like to participate, we do ask for a $20 energy exchange for our time and energy. So then what we do is when we go, you can sign up in advance by sending over the $20 payment to our PayPal, and that is listed in the event. You can also send us a private message if you cannot find that and you want to get the link to send over the payment. Once you sign up, your name gets put on the list. When we go live, we bring out our roulette wheel, known as the Wheel of Fate. On that wheel are many different Halloween-themed readings that you could receive. So you are guaranteed for $20 to receive something, and most likely it will be a reading, because that's what the majority of the options on there are a reading. And I think last time we did it 2 weeks ago, we did have 2 different options on there that were not readings, but this time around we took those options off, and I believe we're putting readings all on there. So they're all readings, but they're all very different readings. And again, they have a Halloween theme. So for example, one of the readings on the wheel is the vampire. Now that means that the reading you would receive is what it is that would be draining, that is currently draining your life force energy within your life that needs to be released. So something that is toxic energetically, environmentally, relationship, whatever it might be, that is coming up for you to bring it up to your awareness so that you can make the necessary changes in your life to release it, because clearly it's causing an impact on your life, and obviously that's blocking your forward movement. So that's a really incredible reading to come up. So that's one of them. There are many different ones. There's a ghost one that's actually a message from your ancestors and calling in your ancestors and what they want you to know at this time. You name it. There's a crystal ball one. Now we're adding the jack-o'-lantern on there, which is all about the direction that's being illuminated for you at this time. So a lot of fun readings that are on there. So what happens is when your name gets called, again, for those that have signed up, your name gets called and we do this live. We spin the wheel of fate for you. Whatever that lands on, we write that down, and then one of the three oracles, either myself, Lindsay, or Karen, reaches out to you privately to get that reading over to you. All of the readings will be done via recording. Therefore, you do not need to schedule a time with us. You don't have to worry about your schedule or anything like that. So what will happen is the oracles will just message you, hey, I'm going to be your oracle, and I will be getting that reading over to you by such and such a day. So we'll do the reading. It'll be a video recording for you, and you can watch it as many times as you want or whenever you can get to that. And that will have pertinent information about what it is that's coming up for you to know right now. While we do that, we do a live bonus message for you from one of our Halloween themed oracle card decks. For example, last time Lindsay was going to be working with the Halloween oracle, I was working with the Witches oracle, and Karen was working with, I always forget the name of hers, but it's also kind of like a Witch's Wisdom oracle. So really fun messages that are not private, because we don't do anything that is, personal and getting too, we don't like to air anybody's laundry in public. So we kind of keep it to really short, sweet, little bonus messages for everyone. And it's just a thank you for participating, if you will. So you do not have to be live to participate in Reading Roulette. You can catch the replay back and see what it was that the oracle spun for you on the Wheel of Fate. And then obviously your oracle will also be reaching out to you. You don't have to participate at all to be live with us and just come watch us hang out and just be really silly and goofy, because we're, for the most part, pretty professional when we do our work. We kind of just get right to the point, and it's not about us, it's about our clients. So this is an opportunity for us to kind of let our hair down a little, let loose a little bit, and just have fun while we're here doing all of this. And pretty much we're sitting here for like close to 2 hours sometimes, so it just gets a little fun and a little silly. So you are more than welcome to hang out with us as well. So yeah, absolutely. That will be Thursday, October 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Oracles of the Light Facebook page. If you want to sign up, message me for details or go over to the Oracles page. Again, that's Oracles of the Light. And you should look at you should be able to see our events. In the events, you'll find the Halloween roulette, and in there will be the link for the payment to sign up. We do always suggest that you sign up in advance. You can sign up during the live if you can't sign up until then. That's okay. We always suggest signing up in advance because it tends to get very booked really fast, and therefore, the sooner how we do the readings, we call by name on a first come, first served basis. So, the sooner that you sign up, the sooner that your name gets called on the list, and you don't have to try to be fast forwarding through a replay or sitting here waiting for a lengthy amount of time until we get to your name. So just something to think about if you want to participate. One other thing that I want to say really quickly is I'm going to set the best intention. I'm asking all of you to assist us in working that magic to set the best intention. But as you know, 2 weeks ago when we did Reading Roulette, we found out that Facebook Live suddenly and mysteriously did away with the opportunity to go live and pull someone else in with you to do a live stream. So we were unable to pull Lindsay in the live with us, which was, really sad, because we wanted, we're the three fates, the three oracles. We all want to be here together, and, she was all ready to go. And so that was a little sad and disappointing. So when we found that out, we started to do a mad search for, how else we could be here live still doing the roulette without having to go to Zoom and have all these private links and all this chaos. That's just too much. So we wanted to find something, and we did actually find a software that I was slightly familiar with using, and we did a test run, as you know, last week on Oracles of Light. Some of you may have seen it. With that test run, we were successful, and it was like all three of the oracles could be there. Now, the fun part with the Mercury retrograde and technology and communication. So the software is a free software, and therefore they don't have to answer to anybody. So they chose this week to not make an announcement, to let those users find out that they were suddenly stopping the live broadcasts, no longer allowing anybody to do that unless you become part of their beta testing group, because they're launching a new software in January. So now they're shutting it down to just not any user can. So I had to try to really quickly apply to become part of that beta user group. I don't know that it's going to get approved by Thursday. So we are going to be spending the majority of tomorrow trying to find another software. And if anyone watching knows a software that you can simultaneously cast to Facebook Live or anywhere else, please reach out to us, send us a message, leave it in the comments. Please let us know, because we literally have one day to do this. We do not want to have to postpone Thursday. So, but I'm just letting you all know this right now because it is completely out of our hands. Cannot even believe the luck of this happening. So we're going to do our best. We will keep everybody posted. Worst case scenario, we will be rescheduling it till the following week, but it will still happen. We will still make it happen, because I don't like the word no. So it'll happen. All right. So with that said, that is the only announcement that we have at this time. Last week, we were live at Black and Blue in person, and we did a version of our reading roulette in person, and did readings there for all of the patrons that came out. And so I just wanted to just take this opportunity to say thank you all so much who came out in person. To those familiar faces, it was amazing to see you again and to see you out and to do a in-person reading. It's very different from, the majority of the readings we do are like this. So that was incredible. And also to meet some of the new faces for the first time and do readings for all of you. So thank you also very much for being part of that. It really meant a lot, and it was a wonderful turnout and night. All right. Taking a breath. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Fred. Hey, Liz. Welcome. Thank you, Bridget. Kimberly says, my washer was just acting up during Mercury retrograde. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So you just heard part of my Mercury spiel. The empathy forecast. Should I say, where do I start? Because, wow, it's a doozy out there, huh? The energy has been intense, and I don't have to tell you all that. I'm sure you feel it for yourself. But what I've noticed with all of the many alignments that are currently happening that I'm not even going to bother going into at this time, there's this huge, again, triggered from the new moon that we just had the other day, the new moon in Libra. I talked about that last moon day and how that's what we were preparing for Friday. So it's just last Friday. Well, all new moons are that time of new beginnings, planting new seeds, and, manifestation and, rebirthing energy, if you will. But being that it was in the sign of Libra, it really brought up this strong energy and need for balance. Mars was doing its thing, and it was all about the self, and Mars represents that energy, and Mars and Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries. It really was all about us looking to the self and where we needed more balance within our lives, and how we could balance our relationships with the self versus our relationship with others. With that said, to me, that brought up a whole lot of, okay, so I need to focus on the self, bringing my focus to the self and where I need more balance. It brought up boundaries and the need for them. And, when I say boundaries, it means one, the boundaries with yourself to maybe where do you need to draw some boundaries regarding what it is that you spend your time doing? Where do you invest a lot of your energy? Maybe you need to draw some boundaries with yourself regarding habits and behaviors, or even what you allow within your life, Then it drew boundaries regarding the relationship with others and what we have enabled or what we have allowed. So, whenever you're having to draw boundaries, it's not always smooth, usually something is triggered. So that makes it intense. That does make it stressed because something comes up to kind of jump into your, your vision to say, hey, I'm here. And then you recognize it to say, you know what, this is where I need to draw some boundaries, or this is where I might need some more balance. So hi Annie, hi Noreen. I was trying to say Noreen and hi at the same time. Hi Lynette, welcome beautiful. Oh, do you mean Lynette? You mean to Black and Blue? Oh, that's okay, sweetheart, not a problem. What we did not realize, and we should have realized this, but we didn't, was that majority of people actually you would need to call down to Black and Blue and actually reserve a table. And we didn't know that. We didn't realize. And so it did make for some people, because they're obviously capacity with COVID right now, they did get to capacity very fast. So it was a full house and it may have even been difficult. So no problem. You were exactly where you needed to be. Sleeping, yes, there's a lot of that going on as well right now. And the need for it. So boundaries, absolutely, there you go. And that's the thing, it's about honoring the self and drawing some boundaries. Another thing that I have noticed being triggered within myself is the need to find my peace and not be swayed by the chaos around me. There were even situations that were coming up that were triggering me. But what was really wonderful was that I was able to immediately recognize that it was a trigger, and I was able to recognize that trigger as a pattern in my life of a own personal behavior, something that was mine, it wasn't anything outside of me, it was mine. And I was able to recognize that this was a behavior that I was no longer willing to engage in. And I was able to draw some boundaries with myself there in that regard. And I was able to surrender. And I think that was part of the theme, was really just finding my peace with the chaos around me and just like not be affected by it, not be swayed by it. I wasn't able to be caught up in the storm of the drama of it, of the energy. And it was more so to me like, you know what? Whatever happens, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just I'm exhausted, if you're all exhausted. This energy is really so potent right now that I just didn't feel like I even had the energy to engage. Do you know what I mean? So it was really, but at the same time, I had this whole like revelations going on where I was like, wow, I really don't want to even be connected to any of that. And I don't want to worry anymore. I just want to let go, and whatever happens, happens. And I was able to be at peace with that, and come into that peace. And just in the same time, I felt like it allowed me to offer that peace to those that were involved as well, if that makes sense. So really this moment of, finding your balance, because it's very easy when you're teetering on the edge there to be knocked off due to the storm. But I was able to actually find my center. I was able to ground myself and not get swept up in it. There were a few situations also that were triggered in family members around me, And normally I would feel myself getting very upset over it because even though it had nothing to do with me, it's just, who wants to be around chaos? Who wants to be around, somebody else's drama? I was actually able to not make it about myself and how it was impacting me whatsoever. And I was able to be that calm in the storm. And I found myself very compassionate and looking at the situation from the outside in. Even at times when I was lashed out at because of them being swept up in the chaos, I was able to detach and not take it personally, which was so different for me because it's like, I give you it once, I'll give you it twice, third time, it's not going to go very well for you. But I was really able to do that. And so I did feel like there was this new level of awareness or consciousness. I'm not really sure even how to explain it. So what I want to say is that I do feel like we're all being presented with the opportunity to change the way that we respond, the way that we allow ourselves to be caught up in storms or in chaos. I feel like it's important to begin to recognize how you may engage in behaviors or patterns that have absolutely nothing to do with you, yet it feels like it's yours, so you allow it to create that energy within you. And really learning to harmonize the energy around you, if that makes sense. And it really does shift the circumstances. So that's one. Another one, I should say. Another one. But also what I'm noticing is, especially today, I had to go out and about today. Ooh, people are frustrated. They are on high speed and frustrated and don't care about anybody else around them. And so I noticed that there's this need to move really fast. And I don't know if that has to do with this portal energy that we're in, because I think I mentioned that maybe last week, where we're in this portal energy, which is, it began really 10-10. We'll say 10-10. It began on the 1st, but we'll say it's for the 10-10 portal. That was opening, was one of a trinity. We're having a series of portals, but the major trinity of them, 10-10, 11-11, and 12-21, which really ends the old era, okay? So it's almost like I have felt high speed, fast forward, move through your lessons, move through your challenges, learn everything as fast as you can for ascension to get through. We got to get through this doorway. Boom, you got through the 10-10 one. All right, now you've got more. It's like high speed. It reminds me of like back in the day when we had cassette tapes. Show my age here. Back in the day when we had cassette tapes and we would do the high speed dubbing to record a tape. That's what it feels like. High speed dubbing, where we're like really fast forwarding, trying to hurry up and get everything done for the next portal to get through the 11-11 one. And then I feel like it's going to continue just right on, keep going up until the end of the year. So I feel like those who aren't aware spiritually are much more susceptible to this energy, because at least those who are aware can quickly, not all of us, but sometimes it does happen, myself included, where we're just like, oh, I see, I shouldn't have done that because this is what it was supposed to have been. But you can sometimes get ahead of it and be mindful, because you do, most people who are working with their, meditation, spirituality, they work with mindfulness. So sometimes you have the ability to get away, to become aware and get ahead of it. But those who are not working with any mindfulness or anything like that, they're more susceptible because they're just engaging in what feels very fast-paced, and everyone is rushing around, and it's making for carelessness. There have been quite a few experiences today that I witnessed where I saw someone accidentally walk into the store with no mask on and had no clue that they didn't have a mask on, just completely focused on what she was doing. She didn't mean to do it, but it happened. And, the people in the store obviously like freaked out about it. And, it was just, it went next level. It was just a careless mistake because of that fast forward movement. Everybody's distracted. No one's focusing. No one's grounding. No one's centering. Everybody's just engaging in the intense energy that just is right now. There was another person who got very irate because she couldn't do something that I don't think anyone could ever do at a store. But, for whatever reason, she it just felt like maybe she was completely oblivious to this rule, and again got very irate. Another person almost backed up and hit someone else that I know. So the chaos is there. You can't control outside circumstances. You can't control those around you. But this is just why it's all the more important for you yourself to be extra mindful. Okay? Really do your best before you leave your house to really ground and anchor your energy. Obviously, shield and protect yourself, the very least with white light. And compassion, compassion, compassion. Because that does seem to help to neutralize. I felt awful for the woman who came in with no mask on, regardless of everyone else was like, rah, I felt awful for her because she didn't mean it. You could see she was just like, oh my God, I didn't even know. And tell me you haven't done it. Tell me you haven't maybe not walked to the store, but tell me you walked up to the store, didn't have to turn around because you forgot your mask. It happens. Accidents happen. And accidents are more prone to happen when Mercury is in retrograde because it's technology, communication, and travel. Things happen, and I feel like all the more importantly for us to be compassionate to others when things like that happen. I think this is, I don't know if I want to say the make or break, but I feel like you hear me talking about really releasing the end of an old cycle. Well, what does that mean to you? That means releasing the way that we treat one another. Being more mindful of our surroundings, but also being more mindful for others and maybe what they're going through and experiencing. Being more compassionate and helpful to one another. We so often speak of wanting change and just being, disgusted with the way the world is, but it takes one to create one. You really got to step up and be that person. You got to be the change in the world. So as we release, it's important to recognize, how would I have responded? How can I respond differently? And I think that's been the main theme for me, at least, with, compassion, peace, surrender. Okay? So it's an intense time, but you do not have to be swept up in it. It happens to the best of us. We get knocked off our hematite is really what I want to say. Just be mindful and pick yourself up and put yourself back on it, Just do your best, and that's all you can do. When you have those emotions that are just all over the place, pull yourself down, take some time out, pause. Doesn't matter if you're going to be late for something. It'll get over it. Pause. Take some time to rebalance, recenter yourself. And then acknowledge where these feelings are coming from. Where's the emotion coming from? Is it yours? Is there something coming up? Was there a trigger? Is it an opportunity to heal something, to be more mindful of something? Really go to town with the analyzing now, because we're all being asked to step up our frequency, step up our consciousness, and step into love. Okay. All right. So that's my very lengthy empathy forecast. I hope that it helps all of you and resonates with you. Hello, Carolyn. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Anything that was missed can always be caught back on replay. Okay. The replays will always be available. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Hi, Angela. Welcome as well. So I just did the empathy forecast, I did the news and announcements, and now after I get to these comments, I'm going to be doing the actual Moon Day Oracle message for us all. Kimberly says, coworkers, managers are bombarding me with requests and follow-ups, and I didn't have enough time. Oh yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I know a couple of us that can relate to that, where it feels like this, like pulled in like 5,000 different directions. Feel that too. Remember, pull it in. Boundaries, one at a time. Doesn't matter if someone else is going to get upset. You're not moving fast enough. You're not doing fast enough. You work in your time. And it is what it is. Surrender and let go. Can't be worried about what's going to happen, who's going to get upset. It's just not, it's not serving you. Okay? I know, I hear you. I hear some of you saying, yeah, but tell that to my boss. Tell it to your boss. I think you should. I'm sorry, but I think you should, like breathe. It can be done with compassion, but listen, I am one person. Boundaries. Doesn't matter who it is. You've got to establish them because we teach people how to treat us. Okay? Barbara, welcome, beautiful. Hi, Linda. Beth says, yes, I had to stay calm today while folks were losing their cool with work and personal life. Boundaries were not received well, but I stayed mindful, held my ground. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, they're not always going to be received well. I totally understand that. And I feel continually behind in my growth and organization of all the new alignments. I fight against rushing or the feeling of impatience. Oh, well, you're not behind. That in itself might be something coming up, a block there or a trigger. You are where you are in exact divine timing, and every choice that we make, whether it's a mistake or not, it never really is, because it's always an opportunity to learn and grow. You get more time to learn and grow. You see what I'm saying? And anything that you're supposed to do, that you're meant to do, will always come back around. You're never behind. Okay? Lynette says, finding it complicated as a healer to not want to help, however. Yeah. That's another lesson in boundaries. So, that's probably the biggest lesson for healers, is that we come into the world with the ability to heal and the ability to want to help serve. But everything has to have a balance. So we have to know when there's a difference between enabling, creating codependency, and actually helping. Okay? Noreen says, I'm at that point now. Yes, that's why I needed sleep and relaxation. Hey, Karen. Welcome, love. Happy Moon Day. Sorry, I'm going backwards in my messages here. Hey, Angie. Welcome. So with you, I'm finding peace and harmony. Yeah. It's not easy. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend I'm talking to you like I'm sitting on the top of Mount something or other, meditating, and constantly come down here walking around in my Zen pants, because I'm not. I have my moments. But I recognize them and I'm able to regroup them. If that makes sense. All right. I think that might be it. Hi, Candace. Welcome, beautiful. You're hiding watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. If that's what you feel you need to do, then that's what you need to do, because, sometimes that's just what you need. We just need to detach. I think, was that our word last week? Detach, I think it was. So good for you, sister. All right. Hey, Derek. Welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. So that was news and announcements, energy forecast. You can all catch that back on replay. And now we're going to go into the Moon Day Oracle message. So I was going to work with the Halloween Oracle because, it's October. Why wouldn't I? But, and my goal is always to work with it as much as I possibly can before the season is done. But when I tried to, I heard no, it was the shadows and light that I need to work with, which after my empathy forecast, you can completely understand why the shadows and light wanted to be working with. So, for those of you who do not know this deck, it is amazing. And I have been using this since probably since around when I first started doing readings, since Oracle first came out. Let's say that. Since Oracle cards first came out, I have been working with this. So it is The Shadows of Light by Lucy Cavendish, and it is a great one to help you understand how the shadows and light within us all need balance. Okay, so hello, Ricardo Carmona de Jesus. I hope I said your name right. Welcome and thank you for being here. So I'm just getting into the Moon Day message. So now that we did all of the the blah stuff, I'm going to have you all come into sacred space with me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to relax our energy and our bodies. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just take in a nice deep breath. And as you release that breath, blow it out of your mouth. and just feel all that stress, all the tension in your body, in your jaw, all the thoughts in your mind just begin to melt and fade away. As at this present moment in time, nothing else matters. All right. So what guidance comes forward for the world as a collective's highest and greatest good for the week of October 20th, 2020? Which, by the way, Energy Gateway Day 1222. Probably figuring, how does that add up? It does. It just does. All right. So yesterday too was another one. So the year is always going to end with a 22, because 2020, 2 plus 2, you don't add them, they become a master builder number, or they become master number, which is the master builder. Therefore, it stays a 22. If you choose to break it down to a 4, by all means, go ahead. I do not do that. I keep those master numbers sacred. So 22, 10 recognized as a 1, the 20 recognized as a 2, 22. Another thing that I thought was interesting is that the 222, I've been seeing that number a lot lately. That number represents everything is occurring exactly as it's meant to stop worrying, because you're exactly where you are at the exact moment in time that you need to be at, and just let go, because all is well. So it's like, don't worry about, should I, could I, would I have. It's just kind of like allowing you to kind of just trust in the process and let go. So I really find that fascinating, because that's been the bulk of the underlying message of a lot of the challenges or triggers that have come up lately. Okay, so I don't know if that helps you at all. So yeah, it's quite an interesting, energetic week, and I do not foresee as your oracle that it's going to get any lighter. So this is the best guidance I could possibly give you, is to ground and center, anchor, calm within the storm. The number of this card is a 7. 7 is the number of alchemy. It's all about transmutation and transformation. Also, to me, about transition. So it really is going from one state to the next state. So when we are in that process of alchemical transmutation, we are in the process of changing, right? We are mutating from one state into the next, mostly a higher state. I don't like the words higher and lower, but I really don't know what else to use in this limited English human language. Higher, lower, evolved. It sounds egotistical. I don't like that one either. I'm just going to say higher for lack of a better term, okay? But it doesn't mean better. Let's just want to make that higher, ascended, vibration, frequency, a higher frequency is what we're moving into, right? So as we shift consciousness-wise, while we're in the works, it's important to recognize what is leaving us. So what isn't serving us anymore? And we just talked about that with the energy forecast, with patterns, behaviors, people. Where do we need to make changes? Where do we need to draw those boundaries? Where do we need more balance? All of that is part of the outdated, what you're no longer taking with you, what you no longer accept. You helps the ball rolling as you are in transition, and you ultimately morph into this higher frequency version of yourself. Okay, so these words are getting real tricky today. So 7 is also, to me, the number of taking a blind leap of faith and trusting in the process when you do. So once again, we have that whole trusting in the process with the 222. 7 is also, to me, about divine timing and natural order. So things aligning as they are meant to. But it's also a really powerful number of completion. And I often don't think about that. It really is that number of completion, because for the most part, there's been, in creation terms, so to speak, it took 7 days to create the world, right? There are 7 days of the week. Also, if you work with the rays of creation, the rainbow rays of creation, there were 7 initially. There are more than 7, but I will say there were 7 initially. 7 chakras initially. There are more, because as we ascend, we become more aware of more information, higher consciousness. So the 7 is also representative of completion and completing this. It's almost like now the work is done, the cycle's complete. You can tie it up in a pretty bow, get it nice and clean, and transform into the next. Right? So I hope that makes sense. So get ready to start the new world, if that makes sense, your new life and what your new world looks like. Okay? So with that said, how do we do that? The card is Poe. Time for change, to learn something new, to use technology and gadgets with wisdom. So what does that mean to me? Exactly what I said in the empathy forecast. It is time for change. It's time to recognize that there are things about ourselves, because even if it has to do with another person or situations and people in our life, it is ultimately about what we have allowed, what we have enabled, or what we have not minded up until now. So this message is telling you that to birth that new chapter, because October is that window of transition there. I should say it's the moving into transition, because it is the ending of the cycle. And then we remain in transition for a time. But time itself is an illusion, and I think that's time for a change, to learn something new. And then she's got the little pocket watch there, and it's like, we talked about that. Everything feels like it's moving so fast forward. And it's like, maybe one of the concepts that are outdated in this old paradigm that really can't go with us into the new, and I talked about this in the empathy forecast, is time. Our concept of how time controls everything and how time controls us, and I really do feel like, it's like, okay, so I'm rushing to get to, get to my job, and it's like my boss is going to come down on me, or I'm going to get in trouble. And it's like, how do we change that though? And okay, I'm not telling everybody to go out and get yourselves fired, but I am telling you to speak up for yourselves in a loving, compassionate way. Some things happen, and we can't live our lives rushing around and just being on high speed and thinking that there's not enough time to get something done, because it's an illusion. It's not real. Time is not real. Time is only recognized by physical beings here on earth. But in those higher realms, and yes, there are higher realms. I know some of you are probably sitting here saying, what is she talking about? There's only physical beings. No, there's not. There are more than this. There is higher dimensions, higher timelines, and time is not the same in the other realms. They don't perceive it the way that we do. They don't allow it to control us and dictate our lives the way that we do. So, also, with that said, what are you going to do with your allotted time here? Do you want to continue into the same old patterns? Or are you allowing yourselves to create something new? Do you want to live a life that is more in alignment with what you choose, with your happiness? Well, then it's going to take change. And change can only start from within. So this week, our message is to change in the way that we would do something that we normally would have done a different way in the past that was not maybe in alignment with where we want to go, or in alignment with the life that we want to live. So often we all speak, and we are all guilty of saying, I don't want to live in a world that looks like this. But we are quick to walk past someone on the street that's in need of help and not offer it. You see, we are quick to, walk past litter on the ground and not pick it up because it's dirty. You and we all have to make the changes in our life to be in alignment with the life we want to live. So it starts now. It starts today. There's no end date, there's not an expiration button on this. But I will say, the more that you make yourself a priority and make the changes even within yourself, are the quicker that you attract back those circumstances to you of the life you want to live. Because you're moving and growing, you're shifting and shedding the outdated skin like a snake. And you are transforming like a snake into the higher version of you, into a higher timeline. And you're changing your vibration, that frequency. And therefore, you're changing the circumstances that can align with you. Because the only thing that can be within a frequency's world is the same frequency, if that makes sense. So we can only, like attracts like, we can only resonate with what is also in our alignment. So if you want to create those things for yourself, if you want to achieve or have this sort of a life, then it's important to change your own frequency. Okay? So I hope that resonates with everyone, and I hope that it's easily understood. I feel it's just a confirmation of the energy forecast message that came out, because it really does go together. It's really about recognizing, what needs to change? Where do we need more balance within ourselves and within our lives? Where do we need to set better boundaries? What are we allowing? Where are we giving all of our time and energy to? And is it serving us anymore? So it is important to make those, to acknowledge those things, and then to make the necessary changes. All right. So I hope that everyone enjoyed that. So welcome, Valina and Rachel. Thank you so much for being here. So that was the Moon Day message, and the empathy forecast and the news and announcements were all done. You will be able to catch them back on replay though. But thank you so much for being here. We are now going to do the mudra. Right. So I will do a brief rundown of what mudras are for anyone who has who's unfamiliar with mudras and has never worked with them before. And before I go on, I just want to make sure, just because I'm like super paranoid now, is the comment still working? So can someone just send a comment really quickly and just let me know that they're still good to go, and I will let you know if I can see it, because I have not seen any in quite a bit, and I just want to make sure that it didn't stop working again. And I will keep moving at the same time. So what are mudras? For anyone who does not know, so mudra itself, the word is Sanskrit, which is a very, very ancient language, is believed to be one of the original languages here on Earth. Beth, thank you very much, sweetie. I did see that comment. So good. I just want to make sure. So it is one of the first languages here, or believed to be, on the planet, and it's also believed to be a form of what is called light language, which is a very ancient language. In a nutshell, believed to be descended from the beings of light. Okay. Thank you, Lynette. Thanks, Karen. I see them. Thanks, ladies. So the word mudra itself is, it translates, I should say, to the word seal, or energy seal is how I see it. It's more like a button. Seal. That's how I see it in my mind anyway, but the word is seal. So that seal is like a button or an activator that connects to your chakras, or energy centers within your energy body. Those energy centers connect to your layers within your auric field or energy body. Those layers control your physical body and the well-being of your physical body, well-being of your emotional body, of your mental body, and of your light body, as well as your consciousness. So working with a mudra enables you to facilitate life force energy flowing directly into those energy centers, specifically in the energy centers that the mudra connects to, because each mudra connects to one or more energy centers known as your chakras. Therefore, it brings in that flow of pranic life force energy that we all have, that is meant to be flowing freely, unencumbered, without any blockage. But we all block ourselves up on a daily basis, if not on, any trauma that we're holding or carrying. It is a constant process to constantly maintain the balance and the flow of your life force energy as well as your chakras. So with that said, those mudras are formed, those energy seals are formed by working with your hands. In your hands, you have palm chakras here. In your fingers, you have triggers that are connected to the elements that act like activators. So when you form these mudras or seals with your hands, okay, so many of you have done them, seen them, used them without even realizing that you've done. Lots of people do this when they talk, myself included, without realizing that this is an actual mudra and it is actually doing something. When you do this, you are actually able to channel energy into those energy centers. Combined with intention and breathing, it allows you to break through any barriers, any blockage within those layers to facilitate healing, growth, and well-being through your physical body, emotional, mental, light body, as well as to expand in consciousness. These were used to assist in attaining enlightenment, been being used for thousands and thousands of years, specifically known as by Buddhists and the ancient Tibetan monks, but they are still widely used today in many different spiritual practices. So we use them to kind of give us that additional heads up to, or bonus to really working with the energy that in the message that came through the oracle message. So by using the mudra, it does facilitate the growth or the expansion that is necessary to go along with the message. So what I do is I pull one and then we do the mudra together. And then I post it onto my page and I encourage you to save it to your phone and work with that mudra by yourself at home all week long, or even at work, because they're so simple to do and you can do them so quickly that you can do them anywhere. All right. So let us see. What mudra comes forward to assist us as a collective this week of October 20th, 2020 for what we most need? Ooh, got one that flew. Ooh, this is interesting. This is a word that had come up quite a few times this past weekend. It is the Sakshi mudra, and it is inner witness. To witness something is very important. To witness in the sense of it's almost like, how when you're signing documents and you have somebody witness it, it's like sets it in stone. It's official. You know what I mean? When you have someone else witness something for you, like in my spiral temple with the sisters, when we talk about something and support one another, even not even just in my spiral temple, but like with your friends and your family members, and they share something with you and you allow them to express something and you hold space for them, what you're doing is you're witnessing for them this that is coming up for healing, this that is coming up for release at this time. To inner witness is that awareness that I'm always talking about, to acknowledge something which allows you to overcome, because knowledge is power. The moment you're aware of it, you have the opportunity to change it, to shift it, okay? So it assists with self-study, clarity, and spaciousness. It relaxes the muscles of the face and jaw. It lengthens breath and supports cervical spine alignment. All right. So we're going to do this together, everyone. So what you're going to do is join the tips of all the fingers together, pointing upward like you were in prayer position almost. Okay. And then you are going to have the base of the palms together, but you're going to soften the knuckles away. Okay. And then you're going to align your thumbs and bend them from the tip of the knuckle facing inward. So this is hard to show you, but basically they're going to be bent down. Oh, like that. Okay. And doesn't tell us really where to position. So for that, we're just going to keep it just in front of our heart center. If you want, you can even do it in front of your third eye. I've seen people do it this way as well, because it does connect to your third eye chakra with the whole inner witnessing, but it does not have to be. So wherever is comfortable for you. Hi, Lori. Hi, Alexandra. We are on the mudra, but after this, you can catch everything back on replay. Okay. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to have you take or close your eyes first. Relax your shoulders and straighten your spine. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And release, blowing the breath out of your mouth. Again, nice deep breath in through your nose. And release. Last one, deep breath in. And release. And you can state, my inner witness leads me to perfect equanimity. My inner witness leads me to perfect equanimity. My inner witness leads me to perfect equanimity. And so it is. And you can open your eyes. So doing that on your own at home is just going to further facilitate this expansion, this powerful witnessing and shifting. I think this is the perfect one to come forward when we are being asked to make changes within ourselves, because in order to make those changes, you do have to first recognize them. Therefore, this is going to, I feel, greatly assist us with that. So I think it's the perfect one to come forward. So I will post a picture of it on my page, and you can save it and work with it. Yeah, mine is very hot, Kimberly. I feel like I'm sweating. It got really hot in my head. But when you're working with that, I always recommend doing at least 3 breaths with it, but it is suggested to do them in 3, 6, 9. So if you want to do them more than just that, you can, but just try the increments of 3. All right. So Angie Walters, my beautiful sister from Crystal Essence Healing, works with mudras like on the regular. She is much more savvy on what those mudras connect with beyond just what is this information in the book. So if you are ever interested in following Angie's page, she does share a mudra every day. And sometimes they even sync up. But also, Angie, if you have any additional information you would like to share with us in the comments, we would greatly appreciate that and appreciate you. I do not know a whole lot more about this specific mudra other than it is a master number 33, everybody. And what I already said to you about the witnessing part and what I know and understand about inner witnessing. Master number 33 is the master teacher. It's all about self-mastery, my friends. And how we do that is by recognizing, witnessing, and then overcoming, and committing to change. Okay? Hi, Dawn. Welcome, beautiful. Oh, always in divine timing. Everything is here on replay for you. So with that said, everybody, thank you so very much for being here this week and for joining. And I do hope that you have a wonderful, magical week. And I do look forward to seeing some of you over on Oracles of the Light. Fingers crossed. Thursday, October 22nd, 7 p.m. Eastern, we will be live with our Halloween reading roulette. If you want to sign up, the event has been created, or send us a message to receive the PayPal link, and we will get that to you and get you signed up. Have a lovely one, everyone. Take care. Oh, your birthday. That's right. I'm so sorry. I forgot. Yes, I did. And I messaged you. I did see it. I did remember, but I forgot when you tuned in. So happy birthday, gorgeous one. I do hope that it was a wonderful day and you received all that you are worthy of. Take care. Bye, everybody.